Hi everyone, once again. I hope everyone's still fighting their illness, whatever illness it may be. I hope your willpower is still going strong. I hope you're still in high spirits, but just hang in there, because in the long run you will overcome whatever is going on with you, basically. But today this video is a timeline of my journey with still disease, and so I'll just be talking about how I've been feeling. This is such an emotional journey, I must say. Bloody hell, like, it's just too emotional. Like, and the thing is, you would be one emotion happy, and then within for me, within about 20 minutes, I'm completely the opposite. Then I'll be frustrated, then I'll be anxious, then so emotional. Within so much emotions I experience on a day. But going back to the story, so my still disease developed in June, but at the time I didn't know it was still disease. June 2015, and well, just some background information. This was so came out of nowhere, because I am a very healthy, active person. My family has always been healthy, athletic, never ever get any sort of illness or injuries, nothing. I'll probably get a cold. No, actually, on average, I'll get a cold at the start of the year normally, like winter time, once, and I'll get another cold at the end of the year when it starts going into autumn, sort of thing, and that is it. 2 colds a year, that's what I would get on average, and that is it. So always been healthy. I do hair and makeup, theatrical hair makeup. I dance as well. I do photography and video editing, and what else? Photo editing. Go to the gym a lot, etc. That's all what I was doing up until I got ill. So I got ill in June 2015, and at the time it came up as I was allergic to something. I got hives all over my back, and I developed a really bad dust allergy. I probably had that for about 3 months. And then it disappeared for a little while, and then in November 2015 it came back. I had to stop work because of it. I actually had work on hold because I thought, okay, this might be like a week or 2 and it will go away, sort of thing, because obviously I had it for 3 months before, but where I had it for 3 months before, and I did all the things, what the doctor tells you to do, what you read on Google, and it says make sure you clean everything, make sure you get rid of pets, make sure you change your diet, etc. Did all those things, so I was thinking I'll be up and running in like 2-3 weeks. But it carried on, went into hospital, and I was in hospital for a month actually, and the doctors, they just did not have a clue what was going on with me at all. They did so much tests, blood test after blood test, and in truth actually, I have never been scared of taking blood tests, right? The first day I went in to hospital, what was it? I think it was like 10 o'clock at night, and my skin just went phew, like just hives everywhere. I wasn't breathing properly, and my body just went down. It just went down. That day they gave me, oh my god, 19 injections trying to get my blood, because obviously when they take you into the hospital for the first time, they go and get your blood so that they can start monitoring your blood and see if there's anything that they can detect, so they can come up with a reason for why you're feeling how you're feeling, basically. And 5 different people, 19 times they tried to inject me. On the 19th time they actually drew blood from me, and after that I was fed up. I just wanted to punch and kick the next person. I was like, if you don't get it right this time, I just that's too much. That's way too much, don't you think? But anyways, yeah, so that happened. Can I just say, so they always say, oh, you got really small veins, you got tiny veins, but along this journey up until now, there's 2 women in the hospital that always gets my blood, right? These 2 Asian ladies, right? And I ask them, they get my blood every single time, yeah? And I ask them, are my veins small? Are my veins hard to find? And they say no. So after that, I'm like, nobody has, no, they don't have a bloody excuse anymore. It's just, they're just crap, right? They just need more training. So after that, I just refuse anyone who tries to take my blood. And I'm like, it's one of those 2 ladies. If not, you're not getting anything out of me. Yeah, 19 times is ridiculous. Like, it traumatized me. I constantly panicked when it comes to getting blood taken out of my system. But anyways, going back to the story, I just had to get that off my chest. Going back, and I'm fidgeting a lot because my skin is irritating, so I do apologise. So going back to the story, so we're up in November. At this point, my dad and my auntie actually was doing a lot of juicing for me. Like, I was on a strict fruit and veg and fish diet, and boy, that just kept going for a long time. And so that was in November. Came out of hospital like coming up to a month later. Didn't know any answers. They did say it could be still disease, but where they go, some of my symptoms ain't matching it. They couldn't diagnose me with that at the time. So at that time, me and my family started researching still disease, and when we read all the symptoms, like the rash you get, the fevers, the pain in your joints, fatigue, so much stuff, right? I was like, that's definitely what I've got, right? And so obviously, I found no information on the internet, hardly any information on the internet. Not information, sorry, but reviews of people's experiences that can try and help me. So I was like my own guinea pig. I'm sure a lot of you feel like a guinea pig, like you feel like you're the only person it's happening to, and it's just a very rare case, so it's very limited in the info that you actually get for it. So yeah, at that time I was finding out about autoimmune diseases and all the different types of ones and how to cope with it, etc. Went back in the hospital in February 2016. At that point, the doctors started talking about steroids, but I prefer the natural ways. A lot of reviews I actually read online said that once they changed their diet, they stopped taking the steroids and stopped taking the injections, basically the medication that they prescribe to you. Yeah, I prefer to do the natural way, but at the same time, I don't cast medication is still good, but I want to try the natural way first. Anyways, yeah, so I went back in February. Boy, still didn't know what's going on. Why did I come back in that time? It was, that was, I couldn't breathe and chest pains, and it just felt like it was tight. Something was just tightening throughout the day, and then it got to about night time. One thing I noticed, my symptoms during the day compared to the night time, everything just magnifies. Like, it's just a lot worse at night time. At night time, something is just different about the air and the atmosphere. The symptoms just seem to just be at their highest in the night time. That's what I noticed. Went back in the hospital, came out of the hospital in March. Went back into the hospital in May. At that point, they started talking about, you really do need to be on steroids. So I went on steroids. I was on 30 milligrams a day, and that did calm down the symptoms quite a lot. But once I started dropping the the steroids, they started creeping back in straight away. At that point, so I was literally just in a state. I was just tired all the time. I was bedbound actually. I started living back at my mum's because it got to a point where I actually could not care for myself anymore, and I would literally just be lying there. I felt like just a mind. That's it. Like my body just gave up. It was hard for me to like just even turn around in my bed. I used to have to call my brother, my sisters, or my mum to try and like turn me over. I was just became a mind in a body that just did not function at all. Very depressed. I was sleeping every 2 hours. I had to start napping. That's how tired, how weak I was really. I lost so much weight. I lost 2.5 stones. My legs started getting really skinny. You could start just hardly any meat on me at all. What else? So that happened. Obviously I dropped the medication and I was like, nothing's really working. I'm not gonna lie, if I did not change my diet to a alkaline diet and having a lot of fruits as well, and chlorophyll juices, etc., I know I would have been definitely worse off or possibly dead by now. But my dad and auntie, they just had that on lock. They just kept giving it to me. And I would say at that stage where I went on medication, or I probably was on the steroids for a couple of weeks at that point. So up until November